Hey y'all, this is Ronte, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A honey pepper pimento chicken sandwich is the richness of the pimento cheese. When I took a first bite, I was like, go, go, go cheese, go pimento, go honey, go chicken, go, go, go get it.
Hey everybody, Robert Preston Jr. here with DouglasNow.com. Filling in tonight for Matt Peavy, who's not feeling well, here with Coach Mike Coe, head coach of the Coffee Trojans, sitting to my left. Coach, you got me tonight. I'm sorry.
Oh, we're good. Ready to go.
We certainly hope Matt gets to feeling better. He's feeling under the weather today. He couldn't do it, so we're going to fill in. We got a good show lined up for you tonight. We got a lot to talk about. We had a good week last week, not just on Friday night, but also with the underclassmen before we got to Friday. And then, of course, we had a fantastic game against the Salem Seminoles, and then we've got a big game coming up this week, the last non-region game before we get to the region schedule. Real quickly, Coach, though, but before we get to what happened on Friday night, which was a big 58-0 win over Salem, 6th straight win over that program, we kind of got the weekend off to a fantastic start with a big JV game against Lowndes on Thursday. In that game, you know, I've seen a lot of games between Coffee and Lowndes at all levels, from 6th grade all the way up, and I don't know that I've ever seen us come from behind like we did, and I don't know that I remember us hanging 38 on Lowndes any time at any level over the past several years. So tell us about that. That was a big game.
Well, it actually started Wednesday night. Our 6th grade team went played Colquitt and beat them 8-0. So that's the second time they've beat Colquitt County this year. And then 7th grade and 8th grade played 2 games last week. They both beat Valdosta Monday night, and then 7th grade turned around and beat Colquitt Thursday night, and then 8th grade I think lost 22-14. 9th grade beat Lowndes over at Lowndes 18-13, and then of course the JV game you mentioned. You know, I got a text. I think Tyreek or Ant texted me and said, "Man, Coach, it's 21-0." You know, I said, "Well, 9th grade's winning 18-0." And me and Coach Shook ran to Walmart to get some Gatorades, and by the time we came back, I think it was maybe 28-17 at half. The JV had come back, but again, I tell Leslie Smith and anybody else that interviews me weekly that this group of kids, they're going to keep playing. And they're going to play through the final whistle, and they believe in what they're doing. They believe in their preparation. They have worked extremely hard all year long to get to that point. And, Coach G he has a saying with the defense, up 60, down 60, and then the kids will say never out the fight. And, it wasn't 60, thank goodness, but they were down 21, and, just from watching the film, really dominated that thing in the second half. And it's good for us as coaches because we can tell them, look how you leaned on your conditioning. You never got tired, you kept playing, and that's what you do. And it's just like life, you keep plugging, and good things will happen. I'm really, really proud of 6 through 12, but really those JV guys that was down 21-0. And honestly, we don't practice a whole lot for the JV game. We don't go into the thing, and nobody does really. But I mean, we don't go into it scheming for Lowndes, for a JV game. We throw those kids together, and they get reps at practice for whoever we're going against that Friday night, and they did a great job. And it's an exciting time to be a Trojan. I really like this group of kids and where we're headed.
Yeah, they scored 31 unanswered points, down 28-7 in the second quarter. Scored 31 unanswered against Lowndes to win, and then really the outcome was still never that certain until the last couple of minutes when we scored late and put the nail in Lowndes' coffin. We beat them last year, so that's the JV did. So that's 2 years in a row, once down there and once up here. So, yeah, I think we've got something special going on this year, and it's fun to watch. And looking at what we did on Friday night, playing Salem, 6th time we played them. We beat them all 6 times, and it's the 4th straight shutout. I don't know if y'all talked about that heading in or even looked at it, but this senior class is going to graduate without ever giving up a point to Salem. So that's pretty special. And it was your 150th career win on top of that. So there was a little bit of significance to this non-region game that a lot of people might have thought didn't really amount to much, but it was a pretty big statement on our part, I thought.
Well, I hope we never play them again. I'll be honest with you. But I was really happy with the crowd that showed up. And that's nothing against Salem. I want to get to the point where, we're playing Lowndes and we're playing people like that helps us get ready for region play. But it came at a good time. Now we were pretty beat up, and we played 3 straight wars right there with Bowles and Bainbridge, and so proud of our kids, especially second half. We got everybody in the game, and I challenge those guys at halftime, the 2s and the 3s and the young guys. I don't expect the effort level to drop or the execution level, and it didn't. Those guys played extremely hard, and that's what you want, So, again, I think we're heading in the right direction. We just got to keep getting better, and got a big one this week.
Well, you mentioned a few of the injuries that we suffered, and with getting a lot of kids in the game last week, we gave people a chance to rest, and also wasn't the pressure to put folks out there, somebody like Mykevia Smith,
right.
Who is really a big part of the defense, and he's been in a boot. So you didn't have to rush him. You could give him the time he needed. And there were a couple of other players in the same situation. So how, are we getting healed up? Are we getting where we need to be?
Yeah, Smitty, Mykevius practiced today. We didn't have a lot of contact and stuff. We kept him out of anything that he could get tangled up. But he at least dressed out and has pads on and cleats and got some work in. And so Doc will evaluate him in the morning when he comes to class and see if it's swollen up anymore, but he's looked a lot better. He came in Saturday morning for treatment, and that's first thing Doc texted me and said, Smitty looks really good. So he's a huge part of what we do, but, with him being out, Chris Reed has stepped up, and, man, you talk about playing at a high level. And so really it's a good thing. We've got 4 linebackers for 3 spots, and if we want to go to a 4 linebacker look at times, when people – bring in heavy personnel, we can do that. We can trust Chris to come in and play, and all 4 of those guys can play at a really high level. So never want to see a kid get hurt, but I'm absolutely excited for Chris Reed and what he's brought to our team with the opportunity that he had filling in there for Smitty.
I believe Chris led the defense Friday night with 5 total tackles, and then you had Travis Adams and Isaiah Johnson had 4 each, and looking at those statistics, you could tell a lot of kids that got to play. It was spread out as opposed to being bunched up with a couple of players getting most of the action. But yeah, Chris has done a phenomenal job, and I always tell people, I tell Zine this, I tell other players this too. When you get your opportunity, you make the most of it. And he has certainly done so. Now we got a couple of players of the game we're going to get to here in just a minute. Obviously, those made an impression. They wouldn't have been the players of the game. But aside from those 2, who else really impressed you on Friday night?
Well, so the O-Hog was Big Kyler Smith, old Scoot Jr., right tackle. That he is a mountain of a man, But I love that kid. He's the same every day. He works so hard. Got him a big old beard. I mean, he looks like an old fella, but he's not. But great practice player. He was struggling against Bowles. He hurt his back a little bit that week, and he fought through it and played. And so last week was good. He got some reps, and we got him out of there. He was the O-Hog. And then we got Zine Preston here. I think you know him. He was our overall player of the game. And when we pick players of the game, it's not just how they performed on Friday. It's really player of the week is what it is. And that's emails from teachers. I think Zine got 4 last Friday. That's how they practice. How did they affect our team at practice? If they played on Thursday and then Friday, it's a culmination of things. And I don't know that we've had a kid have a better week from the big picture than Zine had last week, and then special teams player of the week was old Marty Hall, senior kid that has not played a whole lot, but I can tell you what he's done. He's earned himself a starting spot on the kickoff team. Coach Vaster's fallen in love with him. Had a big lick early in the game, and then he went down second half and caused a fumble. So he was our special teams player of the week. The D-Hog was Iverson Gifford, another kid that has not started up until now, and he had a really big game. Our defensive player of the week was Lorenzo Harvey, who's here with us tonight. And who did I miss? I think offensive player of the game was Tico Smith. So went with 2 O-linemen. And I'm going to tell you, it's a tough problem to have, because when we meet as coaches on Sundays and we vote for this, course, every guy is going to throw their guy in there, but it's tough. And I told our kids, I love the fact that you make it tough on us to choose who the players of the week are, because there's so many candidates, you know. And if there's ever a tie, I get the deciding vote, but it was unanimous this week with the guys we picked. And as long as we keep having several that we could choose from, that means we've had a pretty good game, and we're in pretty good shape.
We're looking forward to this week's game against Richmond Hill. I looked it up. We've played them 4 times, and we have beaten them all 4 times. And, you know, they're a 7A program.
Right.
So they're up there with the big boys, with Lowndes and Camden and Colquitt and those schools. 4-1, I believe, coming into us. They played one more game than we have. Last year, and I must confess, knowing that they were as big a program as they were, I thought it would have been a little bit of a closer game, but we hung 51 on them and beat them 51-17 here at our place. So I'm guessing that they're going to be wanting some revenge to have us down there, and they should be better this year than they were last year. So what are we looking at?
They have almost their whole team back. Electric kid at quarterback, really good running back. Have a little receiver that plays slot. They move him around, motion him, put him in the backfield. They'll snap it to him. He's all over the place, you know, and he's good enough to beat you. You better have a plan for him, you know. And then defensive, and then a big old offensive line. And then defensively, man, they blitz a lot. They'll go from odd to even to odd, and they're blitzing and bringing people from everywhere, you know. And so we've got our hands full. This is really good for us, you know. I told our kids, we'll find out what we're made of if we're championship material. Long road trip, going into a hostile place, you know. We can't go in there feeling good about ourselves because we're 4-0 and all this and that. This is the next game on the schedule. We had a great day today in class and at practice. And the one thing I have not had to do with these kids a whole lot is fire them up. They come ready to practice. Like our board drill to start practice, man, that thing was, it was lit up. There were some licks being passed. And you know, you're getting to the time of year where kids are sore and beat up and maybe don't want to necessarily do all that, and our kids enjoy it. They thrive with that and get after it. So it's like anything else. We got to go tackle well. We got to line up correctly, do a lot of stuff on offense, a lot of motions and shifts and things to get you out of position and test your eye discipline, you know. And then offensively, we've got to be able to run the football and hit some play action stuff, and then win the kicking game. Our special teams has been lights out all year long, and we got to keep that up, you know, against them.
You know, I was talking to some people about this a couple of days ago. Our kicking game has sort of been up and down over the last, you go back and look, 6, 7, 8 years.
Yeah.
There's times it's been really good, times it's been really bad. And but it looks like we've got a pretty good combination.
Yeah.
I've noticed you guys tinkering with who you're going to put where, and kickoffs and extra points and field goals. We're trying more field goals than we used to. Yeah. So it seems that on the special team side of things, we've got a pretty good handle on that, and you can tell it makes a difference.
Oh man, you think that defense? Coach Vester today, I think the starting field position for the opposing O is the 19-yard line. Last year was like the 39. That's 20 yards. That's 2 first downs. I mean, their chances of scoring have went drastically up because it changes the way you call the game. You know, if you're on the 40, you might take a shot, you play action more, you option more. You're down there inside your 20, you're trying not to make a mistake, you know, and it changes the way guys call plays. And so James kicking off, pinning them deep or kicking the ball in the end zone has just been unbelievable for our football team. It might be the first time in my coach's career as a head coach that I've had a kid that could put it in the end zone. And so you talk about exciting. And then Mikael Smith, you know, the last 5 punts that he's punted have all been down inside the 20-yard line. And that goes snapping, the punt team covering. You know, they're just balled in. Coach Vester, man, he's a fanatic with those special teams, and those kids feed into that. And he keeps Holtz in business. I mean, he buys so many donuts for anytime we're perfect with PATs, he buys donuts. I think the other night Jonah was 8 for 8, you know, and they're all very important to our team, you know, all of them, and they do a great job and they work hard, and I am sure glad we have them, I can tell you that.
Well, it's been fun to watch this year, and you know you can kind of get a feel for a team and where a team's headed and what a team's going to do. And this really feels like we've got a cohesive unit.
Oh, yeah.
Very unselfish team.
Yeah.
They play well together. They enjoy playing together.
Yeah.
Coaching staff is doing a good job, and it feels different than it did last year. We had a good team last year, and we played well. And you know, anytime you can come in with a first-year head coach, you can get 10 wins and you know go three rounds deep in the playoffs. That's a good season.
Yeah.
But this year feels like that they've got a little more on their mind. They're not going to be satisfied with that. They want something extra this year.
Well, the thing I love about them is they prepare every week. You know, we don't talk a lot about 4 or 5 weeks down the road or the playoffs. They really are bought in to the weekly process of what we do. You know, and they police themselves. We don't have guys late. We don't have guys playing around. You know, we don't. I told you before the show started, I'm not getting emails from teachers with negative stuff. 99% of it's positive stuff about what they're doing. So the whole thing, they're getting it, the big picture with everything. It's not just how they play, but what kind of young man they are, you know, and they seem to be embracing that and getting it and holding each other accountable. And, man, it's fun to go to practice with them. I mean, it is really fun. Like I told you, board drill was just, I mean, it was lit. Coach Strip was jacked up, and the offense coach and defense coach was going at it, you know, in a good way, just creating that environment. And it's fun. It's a joy to wake up in the morning and know you get to go be with these guys all day long and see them at lunch and in the hallways and then at practice. But they're about their business. I think that's the biggest difference is they're still young men, and you know they're going to play a little bit, but when they cross through that gate, it's go time, you know, and they're about their business, and we've got phenomenal leadership in all the classes, you know, and they pull for each other. That's the thing I like. They pull for each other, and it's fun to coach them. You know, we'll see where this thing goes. You know, hope the good Lord takes care of us health-wise if we can stay healthy. But it's fun to coach them. I'm excited about Friday night to see how we play. And another thing, we don't have to really hit as much as we did in practice. I don't worry about these kids. They're going to play physical on Fridays now. You're going to know you played them. You know, they're going to hit you. And I tell them before we go out every Friday, I want to be able to close my eyes and hear you and hear the game and feel it. Just, you know, not even have to watch it, just feel it. With how physical you play, and they do that, and so that's a choice they make. Not everybody does it, and they choose to do it, and so really proud of them for that too.
Well, it's fun to watch too, and as always, we appreciate you spending a few minutes with us on Monday night. You got a lot going on, a lot of places that you could be. Your family's always here, and I know that when you're here with us doing stuff with the team, you're away from them, and I know it seems that you're with other people's kids a lot of times more than you're with your own, except for maybe Zach.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we do appreciate your time. We got a couple of players who are sitting over here anxiously awaiting their time to talk. Before we go, who we got first?
It don't matter. Who wants to go first?
Let's all right.
Come on,
we'll get Lorenzo
we'll let the
first.
old man go first.
But we've got Zine coming up, and I want everybody to know it just fell into place that I was filling in, and I didn't have anything to do with selecting Zine so I could interview him, did we?
No, I didn't know you were doing this till right before I got here. Matt texted me because I didn't know if we were having it or not. And Matt said, "Yeah, it's a go. You're going to be with Robert tonight. I'm out, sick man. I'm sorry." So definitely not, and I wouldn't worry about it a lick. I'm telling you right now, he's earned everything he's got. Come on, Zach.
Gotcha. No, I'm talking about.
Lorenzo.
Hey, how you doing?
How you doing? Lorenzo Harvey.
Yes, sir.
And I've got you as a 6'4", 205-pound defensive end, outside linebacker type player.
Gotta go up.
Got to go up. How much you weigh now?
I'm 220 right now.
220. Well, I was looking at you and I said, it does not look like you weighs 205. So Coach Booth's weight room and the meals that the motivated mothers give you have been working, haven't they?
Yeah, they've been working.
All right, I know you had a good game on Friday night. You win 58-0. Everybody had a good game. But tell me what your impressions are coming out of that game and where we're headed for the rest of the season.
We came out towards the game not looking at who we're playing, more of like how we're playing. We didn't come out towards the game and just slacking off because of who we're playing. We was always taught to kill a fly with an axe. Don't let it off. Don't let off just cause of who we play. You know what I'm saying? We play whoever we play them as if they have no face. You know what I'm saying? Just go out there and play your best. And as towards the rest of the season, I think we're gonna do good. We have a pretty solid football team.
Tell me about the preparation that you go through. Now I hear from Zine's side of things sometimes when he talks to me, but Zine doesn't talk to me a lot. He doesn't want to mess with me a whole lot. So, but I do get a little bit from him. But that's mainly on the offensive side of the ball. So what's Coach G doing with you? How are you guys getting ready each week?
Well, first off, Coach G doesn't let off on us. He trains us hard. He expects a lot out of us, so we have to practice. We have to practice with the intention of winning. So we practice like it's the game every day. And as far as with the coaching, all the coaches, whether they on defense or offense, they always on our tail because they want the whole team to succeed, whether you're on defense or offense.
I know Coach Coe was talking about the intensity that you guys have in practice. That one thing he doesn't have to do, that the coaches don't have to do, is get you guys up, that you're ready as soon as you get on the field. I know week in and week out when you hit each other, and you guys have been hitting each other for a long time, how do you maintain that intensity, especially right here in the middle of the season?
Well, when we out there practicing, we look at each other as we're friends, but we have to train with each other like we're the opponent. If we hit each other in the mouth every day, then we go out on the field expecting to hit the other team in the mouth. You know what I'm saying? So we train with intensity, and we always practicing hard because we don't want to go out on the field practicing soft. So we have to hold each other accountable, and if we have to hit each other in the mouth just to do that, that's what we got to do.
You got to line up one-on-one with one man on the offense. Who's the one person you would least like to take on one-on-one?
None of them. I'm not scared of none of them. If they want it, they can get it.
I was hoping you'd say that. That's what I wanted to hear. Well, listen, man, congratulations.
Yes,
we appreciate all that you're doing.
Yes, sir.
And I'm down there on the field taking pictures, shooting videos. I watch you guys on every play. You're a lot of fun to watch. The whole defense is fun to watch.
Yes,
you guys do a fantastic job, and congratulations on the shutout. I didn't know if you knew this or not, but you guys can graduate without ever having given up a point to the Seminoles. So they'll carry that with them for a while. So again, hey, thanks. We appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
All right, Lorenzo Harvey. And I tell you, when I asked Lorenzo that question, I really did. I was expecting him to say that there was nobody that he was scared of, nobody that he minded lining up against. Now, we've got Zine Preston. If Zine will come on over here and quit talking. Come on in here, Zine. Zine Preston, 5'10", 180-pound junior. Zine, we talked about this. We've laughed and cut up a little bit. And again, it's worth mentioning, that this just kind of happened. Did you ever think that I'd be sitting here interviewing you like this?
Absolutely not.
Well, I knew that somebody was going to be interviewing you at some point, but I wasn't sure that that it would be me unless we just staged something at the house. But you did have a good game the other night. You had a good week of practice, and we watched you play on Thursday. Had a good game there as well. Tell me, what does being named player of the game, which as Coach Coe said is basically player of the week, what does that mean to you?
It's a big honor. It means a lot, but it's the team that really got me there. It's all about the team. O-line, they don't get enough appreciation. The H-backs had a big block from one of my H-backs, which helped me score. It's a lot. It's a lot of the team. The big O-line played a big role in it.
So, I kind of asked Lorenzo this too, but going to class, going to practice every day, and a lot of people may not realize that none of you guys have a summer. All right, you've got basically 1 week off. Once school's out, you can barely catch your breath, and it's right back into doing summer workouts. So with all the demands on your time, and of course you've got good grades, you do very well in the classroom. Take after your mother on that, not me. How do you keep your focus? How do you stay on task? Again, when we're finishing up the non-region schedule, we're fixing to start schedule. It's been tough. We had it for a long time. How do you maintain your focus?
It gets hard during the with school and trying to balance out football and school, but grades have to come first. Grades are a big thing, and there's I just gotta grades play a big role.
What's your impression going into Friday night? You came off a good week. What are you expecting for us to do Friday?
Win. It's gonna be tough. Richmond Hill's a good team, but I think we're better. We're fast. We hit hard, and we got a good tempo.
Good deal. Well, listen, you're fun to watch too. More fun to watch than you are to deal with at the house, but we get by with that, aren't we? Listen, I appreciate it. Congratulations. Thank you, man. Mm-hmm. Listen, folks, I believe that is going to wrap us up tonight. Once again, Friday night, we face the 7A Richmond Hill Wildcats over in Richmond Hill. If you'd like to go over there, it's a little bit of a drive, but it's certainly not the longest road trip we've had to make in the last couple of years. Game time set for 7:30. You can also listen to it broadcast here on the radio and also stream live on the Touchdown Club's Facebook page. So again, there's no reason to not keep up with what the Trojans are doing, and they're having a really good year. If you haven't been watching, you haven't been paying attention, you've been missing a real treat. This is a fun team to watch. We've got a great coaching staff, and they put together incredible game plans each and every week, and the players do a really good job of executing that game plan. We wouldn't be where we are at 4-0 if they didn't do it. So once again, if you haven't been paying attention, now's a good time. We're really getting into the meat of the schedule. Games are going to get tougher, going to get a lot more fun. So you absolutely do not want to miss it. And if you have been following us, we appreciate that and continue to support these kids and support these coaches and all that they do for our community. I want to thank Chick-Fil-A for letting us be here tonight. I want to thank Matt Peavy for the work that he's done the last few weeks. We hope that he gets to feeling better. Maybe he'll be back next week and I can get back to my normal spot, which is sitting at that table right over there just watching and listening and enjoying the show. Thank you guys for tuning in as always, and we'll see you next Monday at 7 o'clock.